Namaste. Today I'm going to read Volume 2, Book 2, Rudra Samhita, Part 5, Chapter 5. The Tripuras are fascinated in the Shiva Puran. Vakratu namakaya suryakoti samaprabha nirvignam kurava deva sarvakaya sushvam ekadantaya vidam vakratu. Yari visavurisha pidyarapinda sanshta namastasena 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 namo 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 jai mata vidya pradhani mata. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Hari Om Tat Sat. Vyasa said, when the ruler of the Asuras was initiated after being deluded by the deceptive sage, expert in the magic art, what did the sage say? What did the ruler of the Asuras do? Sanat Kumara said, after offering him initiation, the ascetic Arihan, served by his disciples, Narada and others, spoke to the ruler of the Asuras. Arihan said, O ruler of the Asuras, listen to my statement, pregnant with wisdom. It is the essence of the Vedanta and bears high esoteric importance. The entire universe is eternal. It has no creator, nor it is an object of creation. It evolves itself and gets annihilated by itself. There are many bodies from Brahma down to a blade of grass. They themselves are the gods for them. There is no other god. What we mean by Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra are only the names of embodied beings, just like my name, Arihan, etc. Just as our bodies perish when their time arrives, so also the bodies of all beings, from Brahma to mosquito, perish when their time arrives. When we consider none of these bodies is superior to any other, since in respect of taking food, copulation, sleep, and fare, these are invariably the same everywhere. Taking in water and foodstuffs to the required quantity, all living beings derive a kindred satisfaction, neither more nor less. After drinking water, we are gladly relieved of thirst. Others too are equally relieved. There is no deviation this way or that. There may be 1,000 damsels of exquisite beauty and comely features, but only one of them can be used at a time for the sexual intercourse. Let there be hundreds of horses of different varieties, but for the purpose of riding only one can be used on one occasion. The pleasure that one derives in that sleep on a cushioned couch is the same that one derives by sleeping on the bare ground. Just as we, the embodied beings, are afraid of death, so also the bodies from Brahma to the womb are afraid of death. If we analyze with a keen intellect, all the embodied beings are equal. After coming to this conclusion, it does not behove anyone that injure anyone else. There is no other virtue equal to the mercy shown to living beings. Hence all men shall strenuously practice acts of mercy to living beings. If a single living being is protected, it amounts to the protection of the three worlds. If that is killed, it amounts to the killing of all others. Hence, it is our duty to protect and abstain from killing others. Non-violence is the greatest virtue. Affliction of others is a great sin. Salvation is defined as non-dependence on others. Eating the food of our choice is heavenly bliss. This has been mentioned by the earlier sages with good justification, to be sure. Hence no violence should be indulged in by men who are afraid of hell. There is no sin equal to violence in the three worlds, consisting of the mobile and immobile. A person who afflicts others violently goes to hell. A non-violent man goes to heaven. There are many kinds of charitable gifts. Of what avail are these which give very insignificant results? There is no gift equal to that of protection. 4 types of gifts have been mentioned by the great sages for the welfare of the people here and hereafter, as a result of discussion and deliberations of various sacred texts. Protection shall be granted to the frightened, medicine to the sick, learning to the students, and food to the hungry. All sorts of charitable gifts recommended by the sages do not merit even a 16th part of the gift of protection to a living being. The strength that one derives by the use of gems, mantras, and herbs is of inconceivable influence, but it is practiced strenuously only for earning money. The hoarding and amazing of vast wealth is useful only for the appropriation of 12 organs of senses. Of what avail is the appropriation of other things? The 12 organs of senses are the 5 organs of activity and the 5 organs of knowledge, together with the mind and intellect. Living beings have heaven and hell here. Living beings have heaven and hell here itself and not anywhere else. Happiness is heaven and misery is hell. If the body is cast off in the midst of enjoyment, that is the greatest liberation conceived by the philosophers. When pain comes to an end along with its impressions, if ignorance too dies away, it is conceived as the greatest salvation by the philosophers. Supporters and exponents of the Vedas accept this as an authoritative Vedic text that no living being shall be injured. Violence is not justifiable. Violence is not justifiable. The Vedic text encouraging slaughter of animals cannot be held authoritative by the learned. To say that violence is allowed in Agnistoma is an erroneous view of the wicked. It is surprising that heaven is sought by cutting off trees, slaughtering animals, making a muddy mess with blood, and by burning gingerly seeds and ghee. Narrating his opinions to the leader of the Tripuras, the ascetic addressed the citizens with great zeal. He referred to things which gave credence, being visible, which brought happiness to the body, which are indicated in Buddhistic theology, and which are consistent with the Vedic passages. It is said in the Vedas that bliss is an aspect of the Brahman. That shall be taken as it is. It is false to bring in various alternatives. One shall seek and enjoy happiness as long as the body is hale and hearty, as long as the sense organs are not impaired, and as long as the old age is far off. When there is sickness, impairment of the sense organs, and old age, how can one derive happiness? Hence, those who seek happiness shall be prepared to give away even the body. The earth is burdened by those who are not ready to please and satisfy the suppliant. It is not burdened by oceans, mountains, and trees. The body is ready to go in a trice and hoard. Things are attended with the risk of dwindling down. Realizing this, a sensible man shall see to the pleasure of his body. It is mentioned in the Vedas that this body is going to constitute the breakfast for dogs, crows, and worms. The body has its ultimate end in being reduced to ashes. It is unnecessary to derive the people into different castes, when all are men who is superior and who is inferior. All men say that creation began with Brahma. He begot 2 sons, the famous Daksha and Marichi. Kashyapa, the son of Marichi, married 13 of the sweet-eyed daughters of Daksha, they say in accordance with righteous path. But people of modern times, whose intelligence and valor are but a modicum, unnecessarily wrangle over the fact whether this is proper or improper. Some of the ancestors thought that the 4 castes are born of mouth, arms, thighs, etc. of Brahma. But when we consider this does not fit in properly, how can sons born of the same body or from the same body be of 4 different castes. Hence, the division of castes and outcasts do not appear to be sound. Hence, no difference between man and man should be entertained. Sanat Kumar said, O sage, addressing the Lord of the Asuras and the citizens. Thus, the sage, with his disciples, spoiled the Vedic rites in a determined manner. He then criticized the womanly virtues of chastity and manly virtues of continence, etc. Similarly, he attacked and repudiated the divine rites, Shradhika rites, sacrificial rites, and holy observances and festivals, pilgrimages, and anniversaries. Worship of Shiva, appropriation of his phallic form, adoration of Vishnu, Sun, Ganesha, and other deities in accordance with the sacred texts were repudiated by him. The heretic sage, an expert in wielding magic art, foremost among the deceptive, criticized the ceremonial ablutions and charitable gifts that are made on auspicious occasions. O foremost among Brahmins, why shall I dilate upon this topic? Suffice it to say that in the 3 cities, every type of Vedic rites was completely stopped by that deceptive heretic sage. The women of the 3 cities who were hitherto devotedly attached to their husbands were deluded and misguided, and they abandoned their noble inclinations to serve their husbands. The fascinated men practiced rites of seduction and winning over, and made their artifices fruitful in gaining other men's wives. The attendant maids in the harems, the princes, the citizens, and the ladies were perfectly enchanted by him. Thus, when the citizens became averse to virtuous rites and actions, evil reigned supreme. At the bidding of Lord Vishnu, his magic art and evil fortune visited the 3 cities. The glory that they had acquired by the boon of Brahma, the Lord of the gods, went out, forsaking them at the behest of Brahma. Blessing them with the utter delusion of their intellect, perpetrated by the illusion of Vishnu, Narada became contented. Though Narada and the heretic sage had been in that guise for long, they were not defiled, thanks to the benediction of Lord Shiva. As Shiva willed, O sage, the capacity of the ruler of the Asuras became stunned and thwarted, as also of his brothers and Maya. Footnotes. (186). It refers to the Vedic and Puranic classification of society into the 4 varnas of as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra, said to have emanated from the mouth, arms, thighs, and feet of the Creator. Here ends today's reading of the Shiva Puran. Om Prabhu Prananatam Vibhum Veshwanatham Jagannatanatam Sarananta Bhajan Bhujipitam Veshwaram Bhutanatam Shivam Shankaram Shambham Eshanamide Om Kapura Gauram Karunavrataram Sansara Saram Bhujagendrahadam Sadavasantam Hridarvane Bhavam Bhavami Saitam Namami Om Nam Parvati Pate Hara Hara Mahadevi Kiche Om Hojum Samburo Samtirambakam Jamiskanam Bhashti Varanam Urvarakamiv Bandanam Merichumkshamam Tatum Swaha Bhugum Sahajum Om Kali Patrakali Kaparinda Kakshma Chaptatmaya, Banusha, Sakatmaya, Vidya, Dravinam to me, Sarvamamati, Shanti Shanti. Hariom Tatsat.